Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. I love it when a plan comes together. From Studio A in Texas, USA, it's the In Wheel Time car talk show. Coming up, we're going to talk with the founder of Smarter AI. We'll have the upcoming events calendar. Mars reviews the new GMC Canyon, and later you'll hear the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Okay, Mr. Mars, it's all yours.
Wrong headset.
If he puts the right headset on.
Come on, Tony.
I had to swap headsets.
Come on, Ezekiel. You got this.
Yes. So coming up, we are going to talk.
No, we're not coming up. It's just
It's
right
right
here.
right now.
Well, I still
Why don't you
hear
introduce us to
music in the
Chris?
background. In the background.
In the big ground.
Yeah, in the background.
Come on, Mars. You
All
got
right.
this.
So we're going to be talking with Chris.
No,
Piche.
we are talking.
We are talking with Piche. Chris Piche. Am I saying that right, Chris?
Yes, you got it, Michael.
Okay. Took me a
Piche.
while, but I had to
Thank you.
practice. I'm not as good at that as you are, Don.
Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
We,
Thanks.
pardon our interruption, Chris.
Yeah.
You know, it's not our fault. It's all Mars' fault.
There you go.
And we've played with this for years and years and years, and it's always the same. It's always Mars' fault. So no matter what it is, somebody let the dog
Just
out.
like being at home, you know?
That's right. So when he drives his 90 miles over here, he just continues feeling the same way that he does at home. Beat up and put down. So at any rate, well, Chris, it's great to talk to you. Tell us what Smarter AI is.
Smarter AI is a software platform for AI cameras, including the kind of AI cameras that are used in vehicles for different applications, including driver safety and autonomous driving.
Okay, and how does it? So in other words, is it like a distance keeping thing when I turn on the cruise control, or is it more than that?
It's more than that. So our software platform can support any number of cameras. The cameras can be what we call OEM cameras, so designed into the into the vehicle and installed in the factory.
Yep.
The cameras can also be aftermarket cameras, so the kinds of dash cams or other vehicle cameras that that different people in the audience have probably put into their cars already. And then once our software platform is in place, it can be used to download different AI models onto each camera. So
And what do you mean by that? What do you mean by AI models? What does that mean?
So an AI model, I'll use a smartphone analogy. You can think of our software platform as being similar to Android or iOS. So in the same way that Android and iOS manage your smartphone, our software platform, Smarter AI, manages your cameras. And then with your smartphone, as we all know, we can download different apps onto our phones, whether it's for email or documents or social media or whatever. In the same way, our customers can download different AI models onto their cameras. And each AI model enables the camera to detect a certain kind or a certain set of objects or of actions. So I'll give you a couple examples. One of our AI models helps with driver assistance or autonomous driving, and it does that by constantly monitoring the distance between your car and the other cars around it, including especially the car in front of you. So it'll keep the appropriate distance to the car in front of you if we're talking about autonomous driving. Or if we're talking about driver assistance, it'll warn you if you're getting a little bit too close to the car in front of you. On the other hand, there are other models for problems like texting and driving. So as we all know, texting and driving is a huge problem, and it's only getting bigger. We have AI models that will detect if the driver is not paying appropriate attention to what's happening in front of the vehicle.
How does it do that? Does it look at your eyes?
It does a few things. It'll look at the orientation of your head. So if your head is pointing a little more down than it should, it'll also look at, as you said, it'll also look at the direction or orientation of your eyes. It'll look at the rotation of your head. All of that together, we just call that the head pose. And then, of course, it'll look at if there's different objects, like if you're holding one of these, it'll spot that pretty quickly too.
That is truly amazing.
Is the camera adjustable?
Yes, the cameras are typically adjustable. At least if we're talking about aftermarket cameras. If we're talking about OEM cameras, they will generally not be adjustable because the engineers that designed the car will make sure that they're aligned perfectly for whatever the purpose is. But if we're talking about an aftermarket camera that somebody would install in their own vehicle, those are typically adjustable, yes. Obviously to take into account different different types of vehicles, sizes of vehicles, and so forth.
So can the AI function do object recognition to know that that's a person in front of my car, or that's a child's toy, or that's another vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. So the AI cameras and all of the models that run on these cameras, they all perform object detection. If we go back to the texting and driving example, obviously we're going to detect, okay, there's a driver and, there's a phone. If we're talking about the sort of AI model that would help with autonomous driving or driver assistance, then it's going to detect objects that are commonly found outside of the car. It's going to detect different traffic infrastructure, stop signs, red lights, lane markings. It's going to detect two-wheelers. It's going to detect other vehicles, pedestrians, and it'll constantly monitor all of those things. And obviously, it depends on the AI model, but typically, the purpose of the AI model is to monitor those things and to warn in case of any unsafe situation.
So you basically are the software component of it. If I'm the manufacturer, it's up to me to put whatever cameras, and then I come to you and say, this is what I got, and this is what I want it to see. I want it to recognize a person in front of me. Or I don't necessarily need to do that. I just want to focus on a car. Is that kind of the way it works?
So a couple of things. In terms of, getting the cameras into your car, that can work in a couple of ways. As you described, Mike, if you've got a particular kind of camera that maybe you've already installed it, or you just happen to think it's appropriate for your fleet of vehicles, yes, we can generally get our software to work with your cameras. More commonly, though, a customer will come to us and ask for a complete solution. And so we, have relationships with a few different camera manufacturers. And it doesn't matter if you've got a big rig or a passenger vehicle. We typically have a partner that we work with that manufactures the right kind of camera form factor for whatever kind of vehicles you have. Now, once you have the cameras installed, the process of enabling the camera with different AI models, that's something that can happen over the air in real time. So in the same way that, I bought this smartphone, I didn't necessarily have to know all of the different apps that I would eventually download and use on my phone. I can change my mind, or maybe 6 months after I bought the phone, some new apps come out and I want to try those. The same thing is true of our cameras. So typically customers are buying our cameras, for some sort of specific, immediate problem that they want to solve, whether it's texting and driving or driver assistance or whatever the case may be. But then once the cameras are installed, customers can pick and choose and download additional models, to solve other problems.
If I had this camera and this software installed in my fleet of vehicles, would I be able to pull that information live from the car, or is it all recorded types of information?
Well, both. So our camera platform supports what we call Edge AI, and what this basically means is if something unsafe is happening either inside or around the vehicle, the camera can alert the driver immediately. Typically within, say, less than 100 milliseconds. At the same time, all of these events, they can get collected in one of our servers. And so if you're managing a fleet of vehicles, you can aggregate all of these events over whatever period of time. And you can use what we call big data to do predictive analytics based on all of this data. So in other words, you can identify, Mike's a little bit heavy on the accelerator.
Yes, he is.
Based on the last 30 days of data.
Understatement.
Maybe we should, have a little chat with Mike about laying off the accelerator. Or maybe you've got somebody else that is a little bit more distracted than they should be when they're driving, and we need to talk to them about putting the phone down, or whatever the case may be.
So would you work with insurance companies for discounts or different rates by having this product in the vehicle?
Yeah, absolutely. So that works in both directions. We work with insurance companies, and they supply or recommend our cameras to their customers. On the other hand, some customers approach us, and they know that if they have a camera solution like ours, they can get a better rate on their insurance. So they'll.
So I'm thinking maybe perhaps we're going to start changing the name from Smarter AI to Big Brother AI. How's that?
What about?
Did I get the impression though that I, as an individual consumer, could use your application, get your cameras, and put that in my car?
You can.
I want to watch my teenage kids or something.
Yeah. So exactly. So most of our customers are vehicle fleets,
right?
But absolutely, we do have
kind of a consumer
B2C.
grade.
We've got consumers that are using our cameras either in a situation like you described, Mike, where there's maybe a new driver in the family. Or somebody just wants to police themselves.
Well, you could also use it for like an Uber driver or a Lyft driver would always have that. Yeah. They do that now with their smartphones and whatever aftermarket cameras they have, but you see that in the cabs.
And what about litigation? I've had an accident. You talked about this information's downloaded to your server, so you're actually downloading recordings to your server, and that could be accessed for litigation in the future?
Yeah, so we call that exoneration. With our camera platform, we are what we call a data processor. Our customers are the data controllers. And so what this means is that each customer can decide for themselves what data they want to record, what data they want us to store for them, how long they want us to store that data. So it's up to each customer to make their own decisions about that. But yes, typically customers are retaining this data for a certain period of time. And in case there's any kind of incident that they would like to investigate, they'll have that data.
And you have, and I know the phrase will be wrong, you have live operators that are, if it's within the company's constraints, you have live operators that can be observing what's going on, or is this purely AI that says, hey, knock, 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 something's wrong here, pay attention to it?
Right. So we, Smarter AI, do not have those kinds of human operators. We run a software platform, and we enable all sorts of AI with our cameras. Some of our customers have, whether it's a fleet manager or whatever title they might give the person, our customers have different people that are responsible for, either it depends on the use case, but probably in most cases, they're responsible for the safety of the fleet. If you think about different industries, they might be responsible for the timeliness and the quality of a service. If we think about something like waste management or street sweeping. And so, for people like that, yes, our camera platform does support what we call live streaming or live view, and the fleet managers can actually monitor what's happening in real time and make any decisions that need to be made.
So, Chris, I guess that you have the information regarding the acceptability and the uptake, if you will, of self-driving cars, and that has become a major issue for self-driving cars, particularly in San Francisco. We've seen them all bunched up together, and they've had a big brouhaha out of the streets. And one of them, I think recently, it may have been Las Vegas, I'm not sure, a self-driving car ran into the side of a fire truck. So is self-driving, is everybody going, wait just a minute, maybe this isn't such a great idea?
I think that, based on the mainstream media coverage, you might think so. But there's a lot of data that suggests the opposite. So first of all, as we all know, Tesla is the leader in self-driving cars.
Right.
And when somebody buys a new Tesla vehicle, the self-driving features are not included. Somebody has to pay an additional $10,000 or $15,000 to get the self-driving option.
Uh-huh.
And there are hundreds of thousands of people every year that are buying that feature from Tesla. So these people are, voting with their wallets that this is something that they want to have.
So if I'm a manufacturer, then I'm going to go, well, maybe I need to offer that as well.
Legacy car manufacturers are they're playing catch up right now, but they all have at least some sort of lane keeping and distance control, and they're all working towards the same sort of
emergency braking systems.
I think there's been rumors that Ford might be thinking about licensing the self-driving technology from Tesla. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but certainly you're going to see. Eventually, all of the automakers are going to have this technology.
So, Chris, do you have a website that we can get more information about smarter AI and learn more about what we're talking about today?
Yeah, because I got lots more questions.
Well, you ain't got time.
Smarterai.camera.
Seriously, smarterai.camera?
That's it.
I had no clue that there was a camera address. Okay, well, that's great. Chris, we could talk to you for the entire show. Can we call you back maybe in a couple of weeks and redo this again?
Or can we just peek in on your camera when you're in the car?
Let's do both. I'll set you guys up with some software to take a peek at my car and
do it for Mike. I want to see Mike.
Yeah.
I'll send you one for Mike, and I'll look forward to coming back on the show whenever you'll have me.
Well, how cool is that?
My daughter works in the space industry, and she has always called herself a nerd, but at the peak performance of nerds. And I'll tell you what, man, I love nerds. And obviously, I've got one in the family. So this kind of falls under that category in the past. Today, not so much. It's like, wow, I want to be you, But, Chris, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much. Great information. And we look forward to rejoining and picking this conversation up here in a couple of weeks.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you very much. Chris Piche.
How cool is
that? Yes, exactly. With Smarter AI.
Yeah, I've posted his link on our social media.
Very nice. Well,
Camera. Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, exactly. All right, time now for the events calendar, and Conrad has events, and I have an event that it's actually an event / cruise in that I'm going to go to. It's taking place today. Matter of fact, it started at 8:30 this morning, goes to 3 o'clock this afternoon. Good Grub and Gears Car Show and Fall Festival down at the Stevenson Park in Friendswood. So I'm going to go. I'm leaving here at 11 o'clock when we get off the air, and I'm going to head down there.
So if you're listening, get a parking spot for him.
Yeah, save me a parking spot. Or not, I don't care. Anyway, go ahead.
And you remember today is the All British Car Show at the Butler House off Gosling Road in Spring. So if you've got a wrecker and a trailer, bring a trailer because they're going to need to haul some of that stuff out of their parking lot. Friday, October 20th is the 38th annual Wolf Creek Car and Truck and Bike Show in Cold Spring, Texas. October 29th is the all Bronco meet in Katy, Texas at 5733 2nd Street in Katy. Should be pretty cool with the blend of older Broncos and the newer Broncos.
You would think, yeah.
And I'm thinking OJ may show up with his Bronco.
Absolutely. That's what we need to have there.
Mm-hmm. And then I know we're going to have Northside Mustang Club on here shortly. Well, they're getting together with the H-Town Camaro Club. And they're going to be having a meet at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery together and doing some fundraising. The Camaro Club is raising money for families of fallen heroes through the 100 Club, and the Northside Mustang Club will be making donations to Honor Flight for Houstonians who fly veterans for their first visit to the war memorials in Washington, D.C. Both of them very honorable charities to be involved with. So, and
my father went on that, and he was in a wheelchair even, and it was great.
Honor Flight,
yes.
And then, of course, Northside Mustangs having their fall open car show November 4th at Bull Salas Park in New Caney. Also, October 28th is Turbo Fest in Waco, Texas. Veterans Weekend is the 17th annual Heroes and Hot Rods Veterans Day weekend in downtown Bastrop. Visit BastropAreaCruisers.com for more information.
Thank you, sir. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has the Kia Kona.
You're not going to let me live that down, are you?
Last week, you see, he gives me the information that he's going to do the Kia Kona. No, it wasn't anywhere close to the Kia Kona.
It was a test.
It was a
test of my ability to comprehend
The emergency broadcasting
system. That's right.
So this week, we're going to talk about the 2023 GMC four-wheel drive Canyon Denali Crew Cab.
Okay.
Now, it did get the Canyon got a full redesign in 2023, and now it only comes in a crew cab, short bed. All four trim levels get the off-road suspension. So you're talking about the Elevation, the AT4. I believe you had the AT4X last week. Mm-hmm. And then Denali. Now, I was driving the Denali. The Elevation comes in two-wheel drive. You can option it up to a four-wheel drive, but the other three levels come with a four-wheel drive. Now, this is a mid-sized truck, but now this is a rather large mid-sized truck. And I did a little bit of looking. In 2004, it was 207 inches long. It's 213 now. So 6 inches really isn't that much in length.
Well,
but the difference is,
if you say so,
it's 13 inches higher. The height on it's 13 inches more.
30 seconds.
And it's actually an inch taller than my 2015 full-size truck. And so it's got the redesign. Out front, you're going to find LED lighting all the way around, the front lights, fog lights, rear lights. We had the assist steps. It's a 5-inch chrome step on a mid-sized truck, and to me, it works great. My wife loved it, but for me, it's a little too high. I could have done without them, but she loved it. We had the sunroof. We had the tailgate storage compartment. Now, this is the compartment Don talked about it last week. I'd never seen it till I actually got my hands on it, and there's actually a really nice compartment in the tailgate. I showed it to some friends of mine, and they thought it would be great. Put wet stuff back there. One guy even said, "Man, I could put my rifle back there." I went, okay, yeah, you can. But anyway, 18-inch wheels are standard. We were rolling on some 20-inch dark gray aluminum alloy wheels. Inside, because we had the Denali, we are absolutely sitting here with some really nice leather seating. The front seats are heated and ventilated. Now, the rear seat folds up, and it's got storage underneath it. I went to put some stuff back there, and I was looking for a flat floor. It wasn't. But the actual storage underneath there was a lot better if you were putting some things up underneath the seat. Had the 11-inch digital instrument cluster, 11.3-inch touchscreen where we had the nav system, the infotainment, all your convenience controls, surround view camera. We had a premium audio Bose speakers, 7 speakers.
sound like Kermit there.
It was really.
He's excited.
Yes, because I cranked that little baby up. And the controls, I wanted to say in particular, the controls above the wireless charger were very easy to reach. Once you figured out where everything was, worked like a champ. Up under the hood, 2.7 liter turbo, high output, 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. And again, this is a four-wheel drive is standard on this vehicle, 8-speed automatic. EPA says you should be looking for 17 in the city, 21 in the highway, 19 combined. Now, I drove this car 244.7 miles, and I got 16.9 over that time frame.
Lead foot.
Well, and I will say, because of the turbo engine, you might think a 2.7 liter is kind of small, but it has plenty of power. It has a nice power range, and you get up to the top end of it. It needs a little more air, but it worked great at where you would normally drive it. Now, I will say it's also very off-roady in the ride and handling. And by that, I mean it's firm, because that's the suspension you're going to get with it.
It's a truck.
And it caught me, I guess, a little surprised because it was Denali. I was expecting something a little more soft, I guess, but it's not. It's very focused on the off-road components of it. I like the way that it sits up high because of all that. You got a great field of view whenever you're driving it. That worked perfect. Base trim price. Base model price of the Elevation is $38,095.
That's not bad.
The base trim price for the Denali is $51,000. As tested, $53,999. Now, you might look at a Ford Ranger, which you can get a Lariat four-wheel drive for $38,985 on the bottom end. Toyota Tacoma, SR5, $38,555, and even a Jeep Gladiator, you can get it at $38,775. So, and you're in that base trim level, they're all basically in that same price range. They're about the same price. If you're looking at the Denalis, I would absolutely look at this particular vehicle.
It's a good-looking truck. I mean, physically, it's a good-looking truck.
It's one of the few vehicles my wife asked me if we could keep it.
You know,
wow.
I will tell you this, and I
like the extra 6
rarely
inches?
say this, that I really do like this, the GMC, the Colorado, the Canyon. I like those. I like the way that they look, and I like that turbocharged 4-cylinder engine.
Well, they've been
Works
redesigned too, and that makes it.
Want to remind you that this program is available 24/7 on iHeartRadio. Just search In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In Wheel Time Car Talk show continues right after this quick break. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility, located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you're going to find on GM parts, transmissions, and engines in the country. With the largest inventory as well that you're going to find in the U.S., Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has what you need and has the best customer service to back it up. Contact one of our Texas team members for quotes and get that on your dock or at your front door as soon as possible. Rogers Dabbs GM Performance. Best inventory, best prices that you're going to find in the United States. Rogers Dabbs GM Performance.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.